In a small coastal village, where the waves whispered secrets to the shore, there stood an old lighthouse. It had guided countless ships safely to harbor with its unwavering beam of light. The lighthouse was tended by an elderly man named Elias, known to the villagers as the Lightkeeper. He had dedicated his life to the lighthouse, ensuring that its light shone brightly through storms and fog alike. Elias was a solitary figure, often seen walking the rocky cliffs, his weathered hands clasped behind his back, lost in thought. The villagers respected him but kept their distance, unsure of the stories that shaped his quiet demeanor. They often wondered about his past, particularly the woman he once loved, whose name lingered like a ghost in the corners of his heart. Years ago, Elias had been deeply in love with a woman named Lila. She was vibrant and full of life, with laughter that danced like sunlight on the waves. Their love had blossomed in the warm embrace of summer. But fate had a different plan. One stormy night, as Elias tended to the lighthouse, a ship lost its way, and he was unable to save it. Lila was aboard that ship, and her loss shattered his heart, leaving him to carry the weight of his promise to always keep the light shining. As the years passed, Elias devoted himself to his work, believing that by keeping the lighthouse lit, he could honor Lila's memory. But the emptiness remained, a constant reminder of what he had lost. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the sea, a fierce storm rolled in. Dark clouds gathered, and the winds howled like lost souls. Elias climbed the spiral staircase of the lighthouse, his heart heavy with apprehension. He knew the importance of the light in such tempestuous weather. As he reached the top, he lit the beacon, its warm glow piercing through the darkness. But as he turned to leave, a flash of lightning illuminated a figure on the rocks below. Elias squinted through the rain, and his heart raced as he recognized a young woman struggling against the waves. With determination, Elias plunged into the turbulent waters, fighting against the current. He reached the woman just in time, wrapping his arm around her waist and pulling her toward the shore. Together, they battled the waves, and with one final surge, they emerged onto the sand, gasping for breath. Elias looked down at the woman, her soaked hair clinging to her face. "Are you all right?" he asked, his heart pounding. She blinked up at him, confusion giving way to gratitude. I think so. Thank you." As the storm began to subside, Elias helped her to her feet. "Come with me. We need to get you warm." They hurried to the lighthouse, where Elias lit a fire in the small hearth. He wrapped the woman in a blanket, watching as her shivering gradually subsided. "My name is Clara," she said, her voice shaky but warm. "I was visiting the village when the storm hit." "I'm Elias, the Lightkeeper," he replied, settling into a chair across from her. "What were you doing on the rocks?" Clara's eyes filled with emotion. "I went to see the lighthouse. I've always been fascinated by them. I didn't think the storm would come so quickly." Elias nodded. understanding the allure of the lighthouse. It was a symbol of hope and safety, a guiding light in the darkness. As they talked, he found himself captivated by Clara's spirit. She spoke with passion about her dreams of becoming a writer, her love for stories, and her desire to explore the world. As the fire crackled and the storm raged outside, Elias shared his own story, recounting the memories of Lila and the promise he had made to always keep the light shining. Clara listened intently, her heart aching for the pain he had carried for so long. "Elias," she said gently, "it's clear how much you loved her. But you shouldn't have to bear that weight alone. You have so much to offer the world, just as she did." Her words resonated within him, stirring something long dormant. As the night wore on, they talked and laughed, their connection growing stronger with each shared story. Clara's presence felt like a breath of fresh air, filling the empty spaces in Elias' heart. When the storm finally passed and dawn broke, Clara stood by the window, gazing out at the calm sea. "You saved my life last night," she said softly, turning to Elias. "I want to thank you properly." Elias smiled, a warmth spreading through him. "You've already thanked me by sharing your story. It's been a long time since I felt this alive." As the days turned into weeks, Clara stayed in the village, drawn to the lighthouse and the Lightkeeper. She began to help Elias with his duties, learning the ins and outs of the lighthouse and sharing her writing with him. In return, Elias encouraged her to pursue her dreams, helping her find inspiration in the beauty of the coastal landscape. Their friendship blossomed into something deeper, and Elias found himself smiling more often, laughter returning to his life. Clara's light illuminated the dark corners of his heart, and he began to believe that perhaps he could open himself to love again. One evening, as they watched the sunset together, Clara turned to Elias with a serious expression. "What do you think Lila would say if she could see you now?" Elias hesitated, the memories flooding back. "I think she would want me to be happy," he said slowly. "But I've always felt I was meant to keep her memory alive." Clara reached for his hand, squeezing it gently. "You can honor her by living fully, not by living in the past. She wouldn't want you to be alone." Tears glistened in Elias' eyes as he realized the truth in her words. He had been so consumed by his grief that he had forgotten what it meant to truly live. Clara had breathed new life into him, and he felt ready to embrace the future. As summer turned to fall, the village began preparing for the annual harvest festival. Clara suggested they participate, and Elias agreed, eager to share in the festivities. Together, they decorated the lighthouse with lanterns and flowers, transforming it into a beacon of joy. On the night of the festival, the village came alive with laughter, music, and celebration. Clara and Elias stood together, watching the fireworks illuminate the sky. In that moment, Elias realized how far he had come. He had not only saved Clara's life, but had also rediscovered his own. As the final firework exploded in a shower of brilliant colors, Clara turned to Elias, her eyes shining. I feel so grateful to have met you. Elias. You've changed my life. Elias smiled, his heart full. And you've changed mine. Clara. Thank you for showing me that love can bloom again, even after loss. Under the stars. They shared their first kiss. A moment filled with promise and hope. The lighthouse stood tall behind them, its light shining brightly as a symbol of new beginnings. As the seasons changed and the years passed, Clara and Elias built a life together. They continued to care for the lighthouse, welcoming visitors and sharing stories of the sea. Clara published her writing, drawing inspiration from the beauty around her and the love they had nurtured. Elias kept his promise to Lila, honoring her memory while embracing the joy that Clara brought into his life. The lighthouse became a place of love and inspiration, guiding not only ships to safety but also hearts toward healing.